The NFT marketplace has been in a pretty rough bear market for the last couple weeks, and this gives me a good time to review my calls on this channel because this hopefully is pretty much as bad as it's going to be. I think it's a pretty fair point for me to go and review my calls as opposed to waiting for a big bull run when everything is artificially pumped and then acting like I'm some kind of genius. I'm going to go through and be completely transparent and honest about the projects where I made bad calls and the projects tanked, including some that I bought and lost money on. I'm going to go through some where I bought and sold and got out quick, where I roughly broke even. I have some where I bought them and I sold early. And then, of course, I have some where I made some good money or where I'm still holding them because I think they have upward potential, or I've made some money and I'm just kind of holding on to them to see where they go. So let's start off with the first one, which nobody here has probably ever heard of, unless you're following some of the other influencers in the Solana space who I'm not going to name. But somebody recommended on YouTube channel one day, Risky Ape, which I knew was like a complete degen move. This was part of the gambling NFT trend that was really popular about a month ago. And they just, I minted two of them for like one SOL each, and they never seem to have gotten their project off the ground. I need to check it on the Discord, see what's going on, but I don't see them on Magic Eden or anything like that. So yeah, that was a loss of like 2 SOL for me. It wasn't a lot of money because SOL was, as you can see, it was about $150 back then. So this wasn't too bad. This was a risk I was willing to take on, and I just kind of ate it. So it is what it is. Next one I want to mention is the tower. This was actually one of my very first Solana pickups. And yeah, I paid like almost 4 SOL for the tower. And as you can see, this is dropped by more than 10x. And this is just a really sad story because I thought that the tower had a really solid team behind it. They had a really cool concept where they were building like a metaverse tower where you had your own apartment, and they had some neat ideas in terms of things that you could add on to your apartment and stuff like that. But ultimately the market just got too saturated, I think. And they had a successful launch and everything, and they've been delivering on their roadmap, but the community has just kind of left them in the dust because things move so fast. And like I said, the market's just so saturated. So I'm not selling mine because maybe there'll be some kind of impetus for a pump at some point, and it's not really worth anything anyways. But yeah, it is what it is. Next one I want to mention is Candy Cane. And honestly, I don't know what went wrong with this project. I bought one of these back before there were other competitors for the minting tools, for the minting bots. And Candy Cane was on a bull run when I bought it. So that was my major mistake, was I bought this at the top, like after it had a major pump. And I paid, I think, 4 or 5 SOL for this thing. As you can see, this is again almost a 10x loss here. And I need to check in, the Discord, see what went wrong. I'm not sure what's wrong with their bot, but I know that Relics Lab was kind of considered to be a superior product. And once Relics Lab launched and became popular, Candy Cane just kind of dumped super hard. So this was a sad story. I mean, I bought mine at 5, it pumped all the way up to 7, and I didn't sell because I was still using it. But then like I just checked it after a week of not looking, and it had dumped like this hard. So that kind of thing can happen in the NFT world. Next thing is Rad Rugs. I'm actually still holding mine. I'm roughly breaking even. Roughly breaking even in terms of SOL, but in terms of US dollars, I'm probably down just due to the Solana price. This one I think has a lot of long-term potential. I'm still continuing to hold. I think I have 2 of these, and I'm just being patient and seeing where it goes. I think they're actually depositing like a super small amount of SOL into my wallet at this point. It's not very much, but it's some kind of payout, and so that's kind of neat. But yeah, we're just kind of holding on to this. I believe in the founders, I believe in the project, and I'm just being super patient with this one. Roughly broke even here. Only Dice. Wow, I really lost some money on this one. This is probably my single worst call in terms of the amount that it dropped. Maybe not my single worst, but definitely up there on the list, because I bought this at 14 near the top. when everything was pumping. So everyone can remember Degen coin flip and how Degen coin flip had this crazy bull run from the mint price of like 1 or 2 SOL up to like, I don't even know where it is now. Like it's way up there. But when I bought Only Dice was kind of the second in line in the Solana gambling space. And so it had already pumped all the way up to like 14 SOL, like the week after it launched when I found it and when I started getting into these gambling NFTs. So I was convinced that it could potentially follow the lead of the Degen coin flip game and continue to pump, and that just didn't play out. The team, although they did end up delivering a project, it was a little bit slow. Not that I thought they were slow. As a software engineer, I thought their pace was very fast. But in the NFT world, people, I think, were disappointed with the speed and maybe the way the app looked. And I don't really know what happened here other than they just couldn't build the momentum. And I ended up selling mine for a loss somewhere around 9 SOL. So yeah, I lost like 5 or 6 or 7 SOL, somewhere in there. And yeah, that kind of thing happens in the NFT world. Encrypted is another this was a huge Degen play where I just thought, I got into the Discord and they had a lot of interesting activity going on. They were very engaged with their community. It was a very small community, and that's why I knew this was super risky. But I like the concept, and I did feature these ones on the channel. So if you want to learn more, you'll have to find that video. But overall, I think I went like full Degen on this, and there's 4 variants or 5 variants of these servers, and I bought one of each. You can see there's like these red and blue and gray. And I think I bought one of each of these, and I'm just holding on to them. They're worth, I think, roughly what I paid, maybe about 1 Solana less. I've been holding them for a couple weeks. I've gotten some airdrops. There's airdrops are worth not that much, maybe like a quarter SOL a piece. But I'm also getting their passive income crypt utility token, so that's cool. Overall, it's really hard to quantify where I'm at with this exactly, but I would say slightly down. But I'm still happy to hold this because I think it has some potential, and I'm hoping that the team can continue to move forward and stay engaged, and there will be some kind of impetus for just a big price pump once we hit another bull market. Relics Lab, this is one where I bought one just to do the demo video here on the channel because I don't really do a lot of NFT minting, honestly. And so I wasn't planning to use it. And so I just bought one, I made the video, and then I sold it. And since then, the price has fluctuated quite a bit. It was doing really well. It definitely crushed Candy Cane. I think these had a run up above 5 SOL. Unfortunately, Solluminati isn't working today, so I couldn't look up the floor price history on this at the moment. But yeah, I just got in and out on this one to make a video for everybody here. And so roughly broke even here. My next call was Monkey Labs, and I didn't actually buy one of these because I thought that although I was optimistic about the project and everything the team was capable, and it seemed like the community was highly engaged here, I think that the space that they're in, the NFT launchpad space, is just saturated and very competitive. And so I thought it was too much risk for the price. By the time I found it, I think it was at like 4 or 5 SOL when I found it, and I didn't buy one. And as you can see, it's almost at 11 right now, but I think it almost got up to 20 within the last week or two. So this is one I definitely missed out on, where I made a good call and my gut instinct was just kind of off. And yeah, it is what it is. Next one I want to discuss is Quantum Traders. And I think I found these back when they were around 5 or 6 Solana, and the floor price has fluctuated, I think, all the way up to like 15, 16, 17. Don't quote me on that again. Unfortunately, Solluminati is not working at the moment. But the floor price has been sitting right here around 12 for a couple days now. And I think that if I really would still like to buy one of these, I'm looking for a buy opportunity, but I think 12 is just not my price point personally. But I think the team has strong fundamentals, And this is one where I'm trying to just wait to get a good deal. I don't know the exact price point where quote unquote a good deal will be, but this is one that I'm optimistic about. And I just didn't pull the trigger early enough because I didn't have the liquidity at the time. And so, yeah, it is what it is. So now we're starting to getting into NFTs where I've done really well. And Solana Money Boys, I bought one or two right around 3 Sol. And once they did a double, once they were up to like 6 and 7, I sold mine. And obviously now we're sitting at 15 Sol. So I could have had, like a 4 or 5x, but there was no way for me to know that. Again, these projects are risky because the market is just so saturated. It's hard to know what's going to pump. So I always sell when I'm up, unless there's something really compelling that's keeping me in the community. With Solana Money Boys, I wish I had held on to one of them. I'm looking to buy one of these just because I think there's still space in the market for an NFT analytics tool. I've been talking about Illuminati being down today, so that is what it is. I keep saying that, by the way, sorry, but this is in summary. I sold early, but I came out with profits, and I'm happy with that. And that is a win in my book. Next one, this is one I'm still holding the eye. I currently have 2 of these. I bought one at 8 Sol and I bought one at 12. And the price seems to fluctuate day by day, anywhere from this like 12 to 13 all the way up to like 18, 19, 20 Solana. But the volume is very low. I'm getting a lot of good alpha in their community, and I think they have a lot of upward potential because I'm a huge believer in Illuminati, even though there's been some FUD. And it's like I mentioned, their tools have some technical issues. I know their team is strong. I know they're going in the right direction, and I'm willing to just hold on to these because they've been delivering. They've been adding new features to their products, and I just consider them to be like a cornerstone, one of the strongest companies in the Solana world. So you could get on this with the eye or one of the regular Illuminati NFTs, which I hold a couple, by the way, which I've roughly broken even on. I just didn't pull that up in Magic Eden right now. So this one, technically I'm up on, but I'm holding on to them because I think there's upward potential. Lifinity Flares. Wow, this is one where I bought, I think right around, it was around 4 Sol, back when Sol was a lot more expensive though, in terms of US dollars. However, due to the burn mechanic and the floor sweeping mechanic, I just felt like it was inevitable that these would pump. And the team has been updating the roadmap, delivering on their project. I think that the DeFi space is very big and open, and there's a lot of opportunity, and I'm just thankful I got in early on this one. I'm holding both of mine still because I think there's more upward potential. But wow, it dipped all the way down to like 2 Sol, I think, at one point, and then it cranked all the way up to like 14 or something last week. So I've had it's been like an emotional roller coaster, and it took a long time after I bought it. I mean, it took like 2 months or something after I bought it for it to break the price point. This is one where I held just out of, thinking rationally about the way the team was delivering, and that their project was taking a lot of time to put together, but I was okay with that because it is such a sophisticated operation with these DeFi protocols. This is not an easy project, something they can just come up with overnight. And so I bought them and held them, and it's paid off. And maybe I'll end up selling off some of these at some point or buying more. But overall, I'm really happy with this investment. Finally, this conversation cannot be completed without mentioning Shadowy Super Coder, Shadowy Cyber Coder. I guess they renamed their project, but I bought one of these like the day after it launched, or the day that it launched, for 8 Sol. And I held it for like weeks. I held it for, I think, 6 weeks, and the floor price just stayed like right at 30 Sol. So I was way up, and it held at 30 Sol, like I said, for about 6 weeks. I don't have the floor price chart here on the screen, but I have it ingrained in my memory because this was such an interesting experience, and this is what really got me into Solana NFTs. So it pumped up. I bought it at 8. It pumped up all the way to 30 within like less than a week after that. And then it just stayed flat for months, or, it felt like months. It's probably about 6 weeks, 8 weeks. And then it climbed all the way up to like 120. I sold mine at 30. I was way up. I wanted the liquidity for other projects. And like I said, it had been flat for so long, and I was skeptical that their IDO was going to work out, just because it was so unprecedented. And since I was up, it was time to take profits. So I did. I'm not saying that I regret it, but wow, I left a lot of money on the table. And that's how it goes in the NFT world. You just have to be happy with the profits that you take. And looking back at things, hindsight's 2020, as they say. But I ended up taking profits, and this is what's really like allowed me to invest in other Solana NFT projects. So overall, my investments have gone, I've had mixed results, obviously, just like anybody, but overall I'm up pretty decently, especially given my initial investment. With that, let me know if you think if this video was interesting or helpful. I appreciate your time, and I will see you in the next video.